Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and it's Monday night. It can only mean one thing. It's the Radical SR8 Championship Round 4, live from the Suzuka International Racing. Of course, I'm James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth by Tom Cairns here, who's going to come along and join me. We're just coming towards the end of practice before we go into qualifying. Circuit itself, 5.75 kilometers in length, owned by the Honda race course in Suzuka. So Honda own the race circuit here as well. And you've seen the sights of the Senna Prost moment at the end of the championship, I believe 97. No, it might have been even earlier than that one, when they had their dramatic moment as well. So thanks so much for joining me. Let's keep you up to date with the standings at this moment in time in the championship. It's John McHutchison out in front on 174 points. And you've got Luke Maxwell and Jamie Bird in second and third. Ewan Bramer in fourth. Paul LeMay in fifth. And Eric Harmon in sixth. Then Lucas Vieira, Stefan Mellis, Graham Matthews and Mike Busson round out the top 10. Paul Crabb, David Rollison, Richard Jones, Menno de Graaf, George Gonzaga and Josh Reed rounding out the final 16. Let's bring Tom into the booth as we have just gone into qualifying. Tom, welcome in.
Hello, James. Hello to everyone. Happy New Year. In case you're watching JP Broadcasting for the first time in 2025. And to correct you, James, on the Senna Prost topic, there were two famous title deciders, one in 89 and the other in 90. Now, the one in 89 was when they were teammates at McLaren, and the one in 90 was when Senna was in a McLaren and Prost was in a Ferrari. Of course, I think the 91 was probably more controversial than the 89 one, personally.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. I just remembered after, I was like, it was way earlier than that, because Senna died in 94. And I was like, oh, donut. But yeah, 90, it was 89 and 90. Was the two moments they had as well. The circuit itself, Tom, not changed really at all, to be blatantly honest with you. Since the 2009 changes, it's been the same as it is for about the last 16 years. Minor circuit changes after that as well. Kind of sort of held its own in traditional racing as such.
And it's a circuit that a lot of the drivers love, and the Japanese fans are ever so passionate about motor racing, and Suzuka never fails to disappoint. And the minor changes we've seen in Japan, one I know of is at 130R, which was remodified in 2003 following the accident involving Alamet Nish the year before. And so they opened up the apex to that corner to basically allow drivers a smoother run through that particular left-hander. And I think the other change made was slightly at the Casio Triangle chicane, because it's almost like two chicanes that you can see now slightly, and the start-finish line is a little bit sooner compared to where it used to be. It used to be a little bit further down, whereas it's basically just as you exit the kink when you cross over the start-finish line where your lap time gets clocked at.
Yeah, the triangle was added in 82. They added the Casio Triangle. It was 130R, then through last corner, or last curve they call it, and then basically that was it. Then you were starting the lap again. Ever since 83, really, when they added the triangle, as I say, apart from some sort of minor limits on opening up corners and curbing and stuff like that, they haven't really gone through a massive amount of change. The circuit layout in general, bar adding the Casio Triangle, has not changed since 62, you know, when it first opened. And that's the thing, the circuit has sort of held the test of time here. And I think this is why it can provide great racing, and why I think this is what we're going to see here tonight. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see some excellent racing. We've got obviously 3 races for you, 20 minutes with a top 10 reverse for race number 2, and then of course a 25-minute with a top 5 reverse for race 3. Qualifying times have just started coming in. It's about 1:53.957 from Luke Maxwell at the moment. Quite a long lap here. They're only going to probably get maybe 11 laps in at the most.
For this qualifying session, you're probably looking at around at most 5 laps, really, or if not 4, if you were to include the out laps as well. So they don't have that many chances But as we ever see in this particular championship, the Radical SR8 Championship, it doesn't really matter too much where you qualify. It's more about how you plough through the field. If your name is John Hutchison, as you can see in your picture, it doesn't really matter too much where he feels he qualifies, because he knows the car very well, he understands the characteristics of it, he knows the racetrack basically from the back of his own hand. And if he starts at the back, well, so be it. He can just find his way through the field and treat it like it's not even an issue to him.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things they've got to obviously, look out for. The top 10 reverse is basically going to be a full swap bar 4 people. We've got 14 drivers out on the racetrack at the moment, so 4 of them are going to miss out on that top 10 reverse. And that's one of the things they've got to really sort of try and settle down on, making sure that they can get in the top 10. The likes of Graham Matthews, Stefan Mellis, Eric Harmon at the moment, Paul LeMay still not got times on the board. We're halfway through the session of the 10 minutes. Luke Maxwell still out in front. Lucas Vieira sitting in second place, gone over to a different livery. Nice little Honda Red Bull livery there. John McHutchinson, and then we've got Mike Bousson, David Rollison, Ewan Bramer out on track. Paul Crabb, Jamie Bird, Paul Clark, new to the series this week and is sitting in 9th place. You can tell he has not changed his livery since his iLounge racing days. So Paul in the same traditional iLounge livery that he's been in, and Menno and Graham Matthews, Mellis and Harmon. But I think this is one of the things we've got to look for, the gainers and losers in race number 1. It really does determine from the grid in quali, and I think it puts people into the places where they should be. But it's only when you then get into that race 2 that you start thinking, whoa, how are some of the faster guys going to get through? Because there's never a massive difference. As you can see, we don't break a second until we go down into Menno de Graaf.
Well, that's what they're going to be thinking. I mean, it's not the best circuit to get overtakes done at, because it is a very high speed circuit. I mean, if your name is Yuki Tsunoda and you pull off moves at the S's, then that may be your best overtaking place. Or if your name is Kamui Kobayashi, the hairpin is probably the best place to get the overtakes done. It depends where your mindset is at and what kind of drive you're looking at. If you're looking at a smooth drive through the field, you're probably looking at turn 1, because that's the longest straight, really, if you exclude the back straight between the spoon curve and 130R. Like I say, it really depends where you feel the overtake's going to be done at, and it varies across different racing series on how the car chooses to behave. These cars don't have a massive amount of downforce, so the hairpin, for that matter, would be a decent place to get overtakes done at, or even the Casio Triangle, because of the sharp right-hander compared to most of the other corners.
Yeah, I think one of the things, obviously, that people have got to remember is these cars generally will utilise the downforce. These at Nords are incredible to watch. If you've not seen them at Nords, go back and check out last season's championship final at Nords. It was an incredible race. Downforce is very strong. The draft is very strong. McHutchinson goes 52.8 onto pole position, so he's really putting the times in there as well. We've got Lucas Vieira, who's improving from 9th at the moment, going to go over the line, put himself into 2nd. Eric Harmon coming around the corner in 8th place. What is he going to be able to do? Puts himself up into 4th. What about David Rolliston? Where are you going to go? You're going to go into 10th. Graham Matthews has got some improvement on the board as well. Where is he going to improve up? 54.9, and then behind that, Stefan Mellis, who is going to be coming through and getting a time on the board at the same time. I think that's one of the things that these drivers are going to have to look out for. This draft effect, this strong effect here with these cars, and this is something that they've got to basically contend with.
Well, yes, absolutely, and they're just going through to what should be their final flying laps for this session. We just got over a minute to go. John Hutchison fastest on a 1:52, only narrowly ahead of Lucas Ferreira and Luke Maxwell. But they'll be going at it all through the evening. We've got 14 drivers so far posting lap times, and Stefan Millis will be hoping to do a fine job from the back. Bear in mind, there is the top 10 reverse for race number 2 from the race 1 result. So it's going to be quite a battle, not just at the front end, but more towards the sort of deep end of the midfield.
Paul LeMay has got purple and a green in sectors 2 and 3. We've got yellows, unfortunately, over the rest of the lap. McCutchinson's going to go a little bit quicker. He's going to come over the line for the final time here. There won't be any more chances for these guys. Lucas Vieira goes into pit lane. Luke Maxwell finishes off as well. What does Paul LeMay do? Does he make an improvement on that 153? No. Paul Crabb does, however. Ewan Bramer makes a massive jump there. He jumps himself up into 4th place. Paul Clark comes over the line as well, makes an improvement, but doesn't break into the top 10. And that is really going to bring the end of qualifying. Now we'll get these guys swapped over to the race, and then we will get going there, ready for the grid for race number 1. Here is the grid. John McCutcheon is in first, with Lucas Vieira in second, and Luke Maxwell in third. Ewan Bramer rounds out row 2. Mike Busson, Eric Harmon on row 3, the Paul Crabb, Paul LeMay on row 4, Jamie Bird, David Rollison on row 5. Then we've got Paul Clark and Menno de Graaf, and then finishing off is Graham Matthews and Stefan Mellis. So 14 drivers out onto the race circuit, ready to go, ready to get this up and running and get this live action racing here. And it's going to be a good job from all of them. Just waiting for the famous 3 of McCutcheon, Maxwell and Busson to get onto the grid. They do take exceptionally long. It's, I don't know what it is. It's just one of their things. Here, Mike always late once more. But ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats. The lights are going to be coming on very, very shortly. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Race number 1 is green. McCutcheon got off the line. Maxwell got a great start off the line as well. Ewan Bramer is another one also following through, looking up the inside of Lucas Vieira. Didn't quite get it done. Mike Busson up one place. He's trying to crawl over. Oh, big twitch from Lucas Vieira there. And unfortunately, Mike Busson had nowhere to go. Paul Clark has literally done that. Unfortunately for him, at the same time, it's all gone a little bit wrong for the likes of Paul Clark. There was a big check up there. There's Lucas Vieira. And now, unfortunately, is Paul Clark going round and round and round already. And his return to SR8 ends up upside down in pit lane. John McCutcheon with a flying start. Luke Maxwell up 1, Bramer up 1, Harmer up 2. Not a good start for Lucas Vieira there either, Tom. Caused a bit of carnage in behind him.
Yeah, we had Maxwell to his left and Bramer to his right after a poor getaway, hence why he ended up swamped by them and veering into the path of Paul Clark, unfortunately. So Paul Clark in the wars, Lucas Vieira out of the race after just 2 corners. Meanwhile, Hudson, as you say, getting off to a blinder of a start ahead of Maxwell and Bramer, minding his own business and pulling away.
Yeah, he is at the moment. He's opened up about 6/10. Maxwell in behind that. Bramer's in there. Harmon. Then we've got LeMay, Bird and Mellis. Mellis up 7 places. Don't forget, it was at the back with Stefan Mellis. Great run from him. Rollo in there and Menno de Graaf. We can have a look back at what happened to Lucas Vieira. You can see him in the middle. Then there's a big old switch there as he comes round the corner. There it is. He's hit the brake. Busson puts him round, carries on. Bird avoids him. Paul Crabb hits him. And then Paul Clark, unfortunately, just does that. And that's all. Cold tyres, turn 1. Never a good idea to be going slamming the throttle down there, Tom. And unfortunately for Lucas Vieira, he found out the hard way.
I wonder if Paul Crabb's car is badly damaged from the contact, because it was quite a big hit against Lucas Vieira, and he's carrying on his way in 12th place, but that car surely won't be performing as well as he would like to.
Yeah, Clark's still running there. He's going to try and get the car back at the moment. He's gone through Spoon, and he's got the run down the back straight down through 130R. He will manage to should technically stay on the lead lap. Let's hope he does there in a very battered SR8 for that high lounge racing machine, and not a good start from him. Stefan Mellis has got David Rollison tucked in right behind him at the moment there. Big puffs of dust on the outside from these guys. Don't mistake, it's not the engine blowing up, it is the dust off the circuit here, and I think there could be quite a bit of it spat up by the end of race number 1.
Well, there was a little bit more, I think, on the exit Degnan today, but now we're looking at David Rolliston all over the back of Stefan Mellis, who is having the race of his life so far. But he lets Rolliston go to the outside. I'm surprised Mellis braked that much. Well, very early into the braking zone there was Mellis, but he used it to his advantage on the exit to maintain 7th position. Paul Clark does get his car back to the pit lane. and he's got all sorts of work to do. He might as well keep going just in case of any further incidents later on in this one, in case he might end up getting the reverse grid pole for race 2.
Yeah, he's going to have a bit of a mission. He's got to try and keep it on the lead lap. He's on his way out again, so he's been all touched up, fast repair done and used. Mellis has got Rollo tucked in right behind him. Rolliston's trying to go up round the outside of 130R. Big brake man, David Rolliston. He doesn't get it right. Menno de Graaf is looking to coming through the middle here. He makes one place over Mellis. Rolliston manages to hold on. There might be questions from Stefan Mellis about overtaking off the side of the circuit, but David Rolliston making use of the opportunity. Menno de Graaf as well, clearing Stefan Mellis all at the same time where they were fluffing around 3 wide.
Yeah, and they'll be wondering why Rolliston hasn't got a slowdown penalty after running so far off the circuit, and maybe a bit of inquiry after. But Menno de Graaf is steering to 8th place ahead of Mellis, who is seemingly not the bravest driver on the brakes, which was displayed at the hairpin. So Mellis, I think, will be one to look out for, to compare how brave he is on the brakes around particular corners, the slower corners, compared to the likes of Rolliston and de Graaf. And it looks like Paul Crabb has returned to the pit lane, and it looks like it's the end of his race, unfortunately.
Yeah, Paul Crabb went, unfortunately, off the side of the circuit in that old little bit of carnage that went on right at the beginning. He did go off again, did Paul Crabb, so we'll probably look at going in, and unfortunately he's out of race number 1. So Paul Crabb there, not off to a great start. John McHutchison, Luke Maxwell, Ewan Bramer and Eric Harmon fighting it out for the top 4. Then we've got Paul LeMay, who's got the ever-looming Jamie Bird in behind him, and then we've got the Rollo, Menno de Graaf, Stefan Mellis, Graham Matthews battle. Matthews dropping just off at the moment, sitting in reverse grid pole, so he's in prime spot going into the race at number 2. Next 15 minutes, this is where Luke Maxwell's going to close up. Maxwell there making use of the draft, and we'll start closing in on McHutchinson. 3 attempts, you see it on the left-hand side. He's not going to be close enough this time around. Will he be close going down into turn 1? That's going to be the question. Luke Maxwell now going to set after John McHutchison. He's just got to keep running at him, and that draft will come into effect for him.
You would think so, but he's too far away, and it's a new fast lap posted by John McHutchison momentarily before Eric Harmon has taken that away. But through turn 1 they go, and McHutchison, well, he's just taking it easy so far. He's just seen personal best being posted by drivers. We've only done 3 laps of the race so far, so it's no surprise. But you can just see Maxwell looming in behind. Where is Maxwell gaining more of the time at, and where is he losing it? Is it more the medium speed corners? Is it the slow speed corners? Is it the straights? It's difficult to say at this point from my point of view.
Well, sector 1, I can tell you one thing, he's losing time. He's lost a tenth to Luke Maxwell in sectors 1. He's gained a little bit back through Degner 1, coming into Degner 2 now, through the last final right-hander before they go into the hairpin. That left-hander here, sector 3, McHutchison's lost another temp, so that's 2 temps. So he seems to be in sectors 1 and 3, seems to be struggling. We'll keep an eye on the rest of the lap and see what Maxwell does. But Maxwell, of course, is going to be draft assisted now. So is that going to give us a true representative of the pace of John McHutchison?
Well, we'll wait and see. But you can see how much an effect the slipstream is giving to Maxwell. And Maxwell, who is the closest challenger to John McHutchison, I think the gap was 40 points heading into tonight. And so he'll want to make amends and try and reduce that down a little bit if he can help it. But you can just see he's all over the back of McHutchison now, just needing to make sure he gets a strong exit coming out of the Casio Triangle chicane. You can see taking a tighter line through 130R just to put McHutchison under a little bit of pressure there as they go through. Then McHutchison slightly too deep into the Casio Triangle chicane, but he makes up for it with a very good exit coming out of there, making it as difficult as possible for Luke Maxwell.
Yeah, you can see McHutchison got sectors 5 and 6. He was quicker over that duration of the lap here. Paul LeMay has got Jamie Bird literally right up his exhaust pipe, as has David Rollo with Menno de Graaf. They're coming down into turn 1. De Graaf, is he going to make a move? He's not. He's just content sitting in behind Rollo at this moment in time. But battles here for 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Then we've got 4th and 5th with 6th and 7th and 8th and 9th continuing to fight. So a couple of battles spread across the racetrack. Currently, McHutchison not shaking off Maxwell. Bramer's not shaking off Harman. Harman's coming at him here. So Harman's closing in at the same time. It's quite a good run from Eric Harman. Up 2 places already, and now he's closing in on Iwan Bramer.
Well, we've got 3 battles towards the top end. We've got the fight for the lead, the fight for 3rd position, and a fight for 5th place. And also we've got a 4th battle between Rolliston, De Graaf and Mellis. So there's battles galore as we are on lap number 5. And we're right on board with Eric Harman for the time being. Now we're going back to Luke Maxwell, who is looking to just put McHutchison under a little bit of pressure, try and put him off a little bit. But where is the best tactic going to happen? Because there's still a bit to go in this race, provided Maxwell doesn't make any silly mistakes. Is he waiting until towards the end?
Well, I've seen Luke try this tactic before. He tried it at Road Atlanta with Simon Edwards and literally waited to the very end last lap. It didn't work out for him. I would hope he would like to get it done before then. He's got a better run through Casio Triangle now. Luke Maxwell, he's got to make the most of this. McHutchison got that all wrong, and I don't believe Maxwell really made use of that opportunity.
Well, the second phase of Maxwell's exit was what cost him, because he very nearly dropped it going through the King, and that gave McHutchison the buffer he needed to keep hold of it. So that's a missed opportunity for Luke Maxwell as he drops back into the clutches almost of Bremer and Harman now. So we've got a potentially 4-way fight for the lead as we are now on lap number 6. Paul LeMay and Jamie Bird still going at it. LeMay holding off for the time being. Bird almost trying an audacious manoeuvre. That would have been very brave for him to do it there, but sensibly holds back for the time being. And yeah, Maxwell needs a much better exit next time. He got the first phase of the exit okay, nailed on, but the second phase of the exit was what cost him.
Oh, he's going to try and go around the inside. Jamie Bird, that's going to put him on the outside for Degner's 1. They're side by side, contact a little bit. LeMay, thought he might have had the edge. I think that contact kind of put him off a little bit there, Tom, and Jamie Bird has made the most of it.
Well, he kept his car stuck in there and he got the job done. So very well done to Jamie Bird for pulling off that overtake on Paul LeMay. Now, can he do anything about the top 4? Because he's got around about 5 seconds to make up on them. And if they have their own battles lap by lap by lap, he might just have a sniff of, either a podium or a 4th place finish or something like that. We'll have to wait and see.
Harman 52.8 last time around, fastest lap of the race. Bird on a 54.071. So if he is going to push, he's got a lot of pushing to try and contend with, and I think that's going to be tough for him, especially with LeMay tucked in right behind him. You can see on your screen LeMay through 130R. You've got the whole of the top 4 are bunched up now together. LeMay's going to try and move around Casio. Nope, not this time. Bird settles back in. McHutchison, Maxwell, Bramer, Harman all starting to bunch together. It's going to be a 4-car fight for the top 4 places, 2-car fight for 5th and 6th. And then you're going to have Rollo and Menno de Graaf. Harman's taking the inside line over Bramer. That's another place for Eric Harman. Looking quick here at Suzuka in the early stages.
Very quick indeed. Bremer just allowed him to go through on the inside and allow Harman to run his own race and go after Maxwell and McHutchison. Now this is going to get very interesting because they've dropped back from the top 2. Maxwell just needs a very, very good lap, a tidy exit on the exit of the Casio Triangle, because he didn't do so last time. He in fact lost ground. He lost a few tenths from the entry to the Casio Triangle to the exit, and now he's got to try and make it all back.
Yeah. Try and close back on is Bramer. Bird, Paul LeMay. LeMay still tucked in behind Bird. De Graaf now still closing in on Rollo. They've dropped Mellis and they've dropped Graham Matthews off. Maxwell still closing in with McHutchison. I bet you Eric Harman's sitting there, Tom, wishing these two would start trading places to make that gap come down a little bit quicker for him.
Well, Maxwell isn't taking any risks at this stage. He feels it might be best until the last lap to get the overtake done. But what do you do? I mean, if he gets a strong exit out of the Casio Triangle chicane, unlike McHutchison, I don't think he's got a choice. He's got to go through.
I agree, and I think that's one of the things that Luke's got to be aware of, that McHutchison's made a mistake there already. So if he makes another one, Maxwell's got to be there to clear it up this time. He can't afford to keep letting him off the hook. He's got to go for him and try and close in on him to get that position away from him. Again, McHutchison got a strong run, Maxwell not so much. Harmon got a strong run through, Bramer did not. He lost a bunch of time. What about Bird coming into with LeMay? Again, same as they normally have been. In the background, Rollo and Menno de Graaf, they're still fighting out, and 3 pockets of action taking place here. This is the closest battle just about on the racetrack at the moment. Menno de Graaf going down into turn 1, cannot get near, unfortunately, Rollo this time around. But Hutchison still staying strong here with Luke Maxwell behind him. He's not going to be... John's an Iceman. I think that's the thing. You know, he's been here, done that, got the T-shirt, and probably got a bottle of perfume to go with it in his name. He ain't silly, is he, Tom? And this is the thing. It's going to be tough for Maxwell to get through.
Well, we'll wait and see. I mean, Hudson has been in this situation many times before in this particular car, and he can most certainly do it again against Luke Maxwell. And Eric Harmon is continuing to close in. We've just seen an overtake from Menno de Graaf on David Rollerson for 8th position, by the looks of it.
Yeah, Rollo went off the side of the circuit, unfortunately, in Degner 2. Completely got it wrong, and then Menno says, thank you very much. I'll have that away from you. Coming up into the hairpin, he does go through on Rollo, but that was Rollo's own mistake. He's now going to close down on de Graaf and see if he can get any closer to him. They're on their way through Spoon. They've got this backstretch now to make a move. Rollo coming in. At the moment, the gap is down to about 3 tenths. It's closing 2 tenths, 2.9, 2.8, 2.7. It's coming in now, 2.5, 2.4. Rapid rates of knots. Is he going to be able to get there just at the right time going in through 130R? He is. Is he going to be able to get the run going into Casio? Looking under the outbound bridge. He's going to be later on the brakes. Rollo, he's going to send it in. He's scared de Graaf. Oh, yeah. He definitely scared de Graaf there. And Menno made a mistake, and he literally scared him into making that mistake.
Well, that's the thing when you focus more on the driver behind rather than your own driving, and Menno de Graaf just simply missed his braking point and lost the position as a consequence. And he's down to 8th place again. He's got Stefan Mills behind him. Graham Matthews on course for reverse grid pole for race number 2. There is Jamie Bird in 5th place, which will be 6th on the grid for him for the next race that we have. McHutchison still in the lead, now 7 tenths clear of Maxwell.
McHutchison opening up the gap little by little there. And Jamie Bird doing exactly the same to Paul LeMay. Little by little, bit by bit, Bird is extending this gap away. You see here off the back end of Jamie Bird's car. There he is, with LeMay in behind him in that traditional LeMay livery. The two brothers racing machine. No Michael this week, I've noticed, so not quite sure where Mike is or what he got himself up to, but he is not here this evening. 16 minutes to go on the clock. We've got 3 minutes to go, and Maxwell has got Harmon closing in just outside of that second, but he seems to have pulled John McHutchison back to just under half a second.
Well, he's getting the gap down, but is he getting the gap down quickly enough? Eric Harmon closing in. He's now less than a second behind Maxwell, so Maxwell does need to get a move on if he is to come away with the win here. McHutchison still leading the way, as he has done from the start, from pole position, and he's driven a smooth race so far, and all he needs to do is just keep it on the island and make no mistakes.
Yeah, 1 more to go. They will get 1 more opportunity. LeMay's going to get the same. There are the leaders down the road. This is the Paul LeMay Bird battle. They're continuing to fight. Is he going to look at the inside this time, LeMay? Rollo's cleared de Graaf once again. Obviously, we saw with de Graaf got scared into making a mistake. That allowed Rollo to go back through. So both of these drivers got 2 laps to get their moves done if they can. If not, they're going to be staying where they are for that final, for the top 10 reverse. McHutchison, 7 tenths at the moment over Maxwell, over Harmon, all at the same time. They're just playing very much follow the leader for the next couple of laps.
Well, Harmon posted a lap that was quicker than McHutchison and Maxwell. He did a 52.8 compared to McHutchison, who did a 53.1, and Maxwell, who did a 53.2. You can tell he's getting the gap down, but it looks like he's running out of time to make amends unless he makes an absolute dive for it.
Yeah. I don't even think Luke Maxwell's going to send it in that deep. I'm not saying Harman won't, but I think Maxwell is a little bit more sensible. If Harman gets within sort of 2-3 tenths, then there's quite easily going to be possibly a dive coming in from Eric Harman. If he doesn't, he's another one that will just sit back and allow the positions to stay as they are. But he is closing in currently down the back stretch of into 130R. Eric Harman sitting in third, Maxwell in second, slowly nosing in now, and Harman coming in bit by bit. Maxwell's lost a little bit of time to McHutchison here, Tom, and he's going to have to contend with Eric Harman for the final lap.
Well, he's going to have to, because Harman's closer to Maxwell than Maxwell is to McHutchison. They are starting the last lap now. The white flag is being waved, and this is it. This is their last tour of this first race for tonight. Harman not quite close enough yet. As you can see, Bremer just dropping back. He knows it's fourth position that he's going to have to contend with, which will put him higher up the grid compared to the top three that will finish ahead of him. Robertson posting his personal best lap of the race in his quest to go after Paul LeMay, but he's too far back to make any form of challenge with that. But it looks pretty concrete now as far as the positions are concerned.
Paul LeMay's made a mistake. He's made a mistake. He's dropped 2 seconds away from Bird. Harman has not made the mistake. He is closing in on Maxwell. He's got the hairpin, spoon, and backstretch to go, and then into Casio. Can the man in from the United States make this move? He's got to use every opportunity he can of the draft. He's got to close him in at every single point through 200R. They go. Again, he's got to come and close that gap up on Maxwell. He's down to half a tenth. He's got to get it down to at least 2.5 tenths before really they go into the back stretch.
Well, this is it now. Is Harman going to send it on Maxwell? He's too far back at the moment, unless he can make the full use of the draft, but he's too far back to make a lunge. But it will be a well-deserved podium in this first race for Eric Harman here at Suzuka, as McHutchison is about to take another victory.
Yeah, John McHutchison coming through. He's going to take that victory. He's going to get the job done, and he will take the first race victory here. John McHutchison wraps it up, takes the win. Luke Maxwell comes over the line just ahead of Eric Harman. Ewan Bramer comes over in fourth place, and then you got Jamie Bird rolling over in fifth. There was a mistake there from Paul LeMay that has cost him that time. He comes over the line in sixth place. Rollo over the line in front of Menno de Graaf. Great little battle for them guys. Stephen Mellis as well, with Graham Matthews in behind him. Mike Bousson stayed out on the race circuit, finished down in 11th. And then, of course, we've got Paul Clark and Paul Crabb still out on the racetrack. But obviously, both men, well, Paul Clark ended up upside down and spinning quite a few times on their way around. And Paul Crabb had dinner damage at the same time. And unfortunately, slight little problems for these guys. Lucas Vieira been in the pit lane. He's been in there since the beginning after being involved at that beginning. Great opening race there, Tom. Probably like to have seen a little bit more aggression from Luke Maxwell.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think he just played the safe game and just wanted to make sure he got some good points, but he's lost further ground as far as the championship is concerned by a few points. John McHutchison posted the fastest up of the race as well on the last tour, James, so that should be another point going in the way of him. As you can just see, Paul Clark and Paul Crabb crossing over the line in a moment now, and you'll be able to run down on the beloved classification for race number 1.
Yeah, but just keep an eye on Clark going over the line. Just got to extend the grid in for race number 2, otherwise it gives them about 30 seconds. So we're going to do that rather quickly, so they can make sure that they're aware when it changes over, that they will have a little bit more time for gridding for race number 2. That's done there for them. So let's bring you up the results for race number 1. John McHutchison takes the victory. Luke Maxwell in second. Eric Harman in third. Then you got Ewan Bramer, Jamie Bird, Paul LeMay, 4th, 5th and 6th. David Rollison and Menno de Graaf battled it out in 7th and 8th. Then Stefan Mellis, Graham Matthews, Mike Buson, Paul Clark, Paul Crabb, and Lucas Vieira. Now let's bring you up the grid for race number 2. Graham Matthews will be on pole. Stefan Mellis sitting in 2nd. Menno de Graaf in 3rd. And David Rollison in 4th. Paul LeMay in 5th. And Jamie Bird 6th. Ewan Bramer, Eric Harmon, Luke Maxwell, and John McHutchinson round out the bottom end of 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Then you got Mike Buson and Paul Clark, with Paul Crabb and Lucas Vieira will be the last one on the grid there. So, yeah, very, very interesting indeed. What do you think, Tom? Did Suzuka deliver, or did you sit back and think, yeah, maybe not? Ooh, have we lost Tom?
Sorry, I had my mic on mute for a moment there. So, answering your question, we had some action at the beginning. It's the middle part of the race, all the way to the end, more or less, where we kind of just lacked that. So hopefully we'll see a little bit more in race 2, and we should do, because we've got more of the slower drivers at the head of the field. No disrespect to the likes of Graham Matthews or Stefan Millis, but there is a distinct pace difference between the likes of Hutchison, Maxwell, Harmon compared to Matthews, Millis, and de Graaf.
Yep. You are correct. I don't think any of these guys are going to be a little bit offended by the fact that they're going to, if they are some of the slower ones, they're going to be. They know that they're not. They're not silly, and this is the thing for these guys. They're not crazy whatsoever, so they are aware that this will unfortunately happen. It's just part and parcel of racing. You're never going to be at the front all the time. Stefan Mellis will be starting on the front row alongside Graham Matthews. Let's see how Matthews can get on here, and if he can get that car off the line. They've got about 2 minutes left of gridding to go. Don't forget, if you are here for the first time, guys, like, subscribe, turn on the bells. That would be absolutely amazing. If you've just joined in and you want to have a chat with us, let us know that you are here in the YouTube chat. We will talk back on that one. So don't forget to let us know who you're rooting for, who you think is going to be doing the job, and who you think is going to come and take the victories over the evening. They've got this one and one more. So 2 minutes left of gridding before we go to race number 2 there, Tom.
Yes, absolutely. We're still waiting on a number of drivers to get onto the grid, but they've got about a minute or so before the lights do eventually go out. If they're not on the grid in time, they will have to start the race from the pit lane. And we've seen that in the past in a number of other championships. I think we may have well seen it in Radical SR8 as well. But yes, hopefully we'll see a little bit more in this one, especially around the opening. Hopefully it's not going to be all concrete in the early stages. I think the more action we see, the quicker the race can go. So that, which is good news for us, actually, because then we're focusing more on the action rather than just focusing on how long we've got left in the event.
Well, gridding will be done very, very short. About 1:20 now from these guys to get on. David Rolliston, Paul LeMay, and John McHutchison. Even Mike Buson's on the grid. I'm proud of you, Mike. The very first time he's been on there as well. Looking forward through his car. You can see that run down into turn number 1. Going to be tough to see if Graham Matthews can hold on here. He's got to try and get this SR8 off at the line and ready to go, Tom. It's not an easy feat, and then he's got half the fast guys coming behind him.
Well, I think I want to see him get stuck in there. I don't want to see him just allowing a lot of the faster drivers going through, because it's a really poor way of race management. I want to see Graham Matthews get his elbows out and just try and give us a race for once, because I don't feel like I've seen that from him in a lot of the races I've seen involving him within Radical SR8.
Well, everybody's on to the grid, so we will get this going very, very shortly. Do expect the lights to come on and the racing will get up underway. But I think it'd be nice to see if Matthews, Mellis, Rollo, Menno de Graaf can all get stuck in. That would be absolutely amazing, and get going and see how they get on. They're only going to get faster if they do get stuck in. I'm just wondering why they're still sat there. There we go. The lights are coming on now. Graham Matthews going to lead the field. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Ladies and gentlemen, it is green, green, green for race number 2. Graham Matthews on the right-hand side, Stefan Mellis on the inside. They're coming down into turn number 1. Rollo's trying to get over Menno de Graaf again. Has managed to make it through. Matthews on the outside, lost a place to Mellis. He's trying to get stuck in with David Rolliston as they start going up through the S's. Is he going to be able to hold on to this position? Bird in there, Menno de Graaf in there. Maxwell's got the jump. Paul LeMay has unfortunately gone round. Manages to keep the car going forward. Mellis out in front. There's been a big pile up there. Oh, Menno de Graaf. What? Oh, so Matthews slid.
Yeah.
Oh, Graham Matthews lost the car there, Tom, and unfortunately lost control.
Well, he was way offline through the S's, and that's probably what's caused him to slide as he did. And he's just taken Menno de Graaf with him. Even Brummer went off as well the corner after that, so he's lost crucial ground to the rest of the pack. And, well, he's left himself with all sorts of work to do. Eric Harman is up to 5th place. Luke Maxwell is in 4th position from starting 9th on the grid, so he's made a good start to this one. Lucas Vieira has kept his car out of trouble, unlike in race 1. But you can see that Stefan Mellis is doing his best to bridge out the gap over the others. We've definitely got a race on our hands.
Yeah, Mellis needs to escape. He needs to be like a scolded dog. He needs to run for his life to Stefan Mellis, and at the moment that's exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to run away, and he can probably do with somebody putting the pressure on Bird. Luke Maxwell might come and aid his progress here. John McCutcheon, Eric Harman, they've just gone 3 wide. McCutcheon sweep round Eric Harman and David Rolliston and Paul Crabb. So McCutcheon now moves himself into 4th. This could be a whole different ball game for Stefan Mellis if Jamie Bird can get attacked by Luke Maxwell, by John McCutcheon, by Eric Harman. And you can see Eric Harman goes all the way to the left. He's going to look for the outside of turn number 1. Is he going to be able to make it through? No. You see dabbing of the brakes from McCutcheon on the back of the SR8. He couldn't quite make it through that time around. And now McCutcheon manages to hold on, but he has got a very fast looming Eric Harman behind him, and Jamie Bird has got a fast Maxwell climbing at him.
The pace from Harman throughout tonight has been very encouraging, and he's using it to his advantage. There's a kick of dust being blown into the... I don't know who's been running wide. It's not...
That was off the Matthews incident with Menno de Graaf.
Okay, so that explains it. So Joe is having to make do with that for the foreseeable future. Mellis doing his best to pull away, but the gap between him and Bird is rather minimal right now. Just looking at the gap, it's only a couple of tenths. Bird is made up all the time on Mellis so far. It's just depending on how brave he is feeling. But with the likes of Maxwell McHudson and Harman coming through, he needs to get this done now.
He does, and then needs to escape if he can. If he can't escape and Mellis holds him up and defends, before he knows it, Luke Maxwell's going to be on his tail. So as much as I love Stefan Mellis and defend for your life, dear sir, I'm never one for rolling over and getting your belly tickled. You should all know that. Defend as much as you want. Weave a jumper halfway down the back stretch. I don't care. Put the effort in, and he is definitely doing that. He's sending Bird the long way through 130R. This is not going to be easy on that outside line. He does sweep through. Jamie Bird gets the job done. Mellis is now going to be under attack from Maxwell and McCutcheon and Harman and Rollo and Vieira, all coming through the field, including Mike Buson. This train of 8 cars here with 1.1 seconds over Paul Clark, then LeMay and Ewan Bramer in the background, but Mellis is going to be in a whole heap of somewhere at this moment in time.
Yeah, well, how brave is he feeling into turn 1? Is he just going to leave the inside open? Well, he doesn't leave the inside open as Maxwell stays behind for now. But we can see that Rolliston runs wide in his defence with Buson finding a way through.
Yeah. Lucas Vieira alongside in that Red Bull machine. Buson sat in behind him. There is Rollo Buson in behind that as well. Now this is Bird escaping. That's Mellis making a mistake. That's Maxwell going through. Now, Mellis is now in there under the cosh. He's going to be offline for Degner 1. Harman puts him offline for Degner 2. Vieira puts him offline as well. Stefan Mellis got bullied there. He literally lost his shoes, his lunch money, his homework, everything on that one there, Tom. He just got bullied out by the 4 boys in front.
Yeah, he got offline. I don't know if he was put off by the dust, which was left behind by Graham Matthews, but it's cost him dear. And now Rollerson is all over the rear of Mellis. And we've got a battle for the lead, which will be happening very, very soon, involving Jamie Bird, Luke Maxwell, John Hudson, and Eric Harmon. How are those getting on further ahead? Well, I can say that Hudson is on the tail of Maxwell on the approach to 130R. Rollerson running wide on the exit of Spoon.
Yeah, that's going to bring Buson into play. Buson would have seen that jump from David Rollerson. He hit the curve. Rollo's going to cut. Oh, Rollo. Oh, David Rollerson. You animal. Literally squeezed the living daylights out of Mike Buson. Paul Clark says thank you very much. Paul LeMay's trying to have a go at him as well. Takes the outside. Buson loses positions there, loses 2 positions, but David Rollerson, God, he was squeezing him as much as possible there.
Yeah, he was, and there wasn't even a gap for him to go around the outside, so I don't know why Mike Buson tried to get a job done there, and that's cost him ground in the race. As we are looking at the leaders now, Lucas Vieira, after crashing out at the beginning of race 1, has got himself into the action. We're going to see a replay of Paul Crabb as he sustained some damage there. Was that a connection issue or something that's caused him to...
Gotta have been. What happened here? He's turning right. Oh, he just...
I wonder if his steering has gone all funny that's caused him to crash. So we'll leave that for him to answer afterwards. But looking at the pack now, we've got Mellis ahead of Rollerson. Paul Clark is in the fray with Paul LeMay, Mike Buson and Ivan Brummer determined to make up after going wide on lap 1. And you just see there Paul Clark taking a slightly different line, a tighter line into the hairpin, and just seeing Buson getting bars out of the way by not Mike Buson, it was Paul. Was it Mike Buson that came through there?
He tried to get on the inside of Paul LeMay. LeMay ran him on the inside and then held onto that outside line at the hairpin. And then basically he just didn't give Mike the option to go through. So Mike's going to have to try again. The problem is at the same time, LeMay's going to get the drive from Clark in front. Clark's going to get the drive from Rollo. Rollo's going to get it from Mellis. And at the moment in time, LeMay's going to be closing in here. He's not letting Buson get any closer. Clark is now, but LeMay's going to go on the defense. If Buson's going to do it, he's got to try and do it on the outside of Casio. Not going to work. Bird there, not Bird, Rollo also didn't manage to get past Mellis either. So the cork in the bottle is this man here, the Belgian, Stefan Mellis, the real life DJ. Is the cork in the bottle with these 2, 4, 6 cars. Rollo's going to try and take him up the inside. Mellis ain't going to let him on that one. He's going to not... Is he going to hold him? He may have done. Up through the S's. They're going to go 2 by 2. Mellis has lost that position to Rollo, but Rollo had to come off a tighter line. Mellis again locking up here, Tom. And again, he's put under pressure.
He's been too kind with the amount of space he's given, and that's put him off line through the corners. And now you could just see Paul Clark making his way through. Mellis trying to fight back, but it's too late. And that's going to open the opportunity for Paul LeMay. It's a domino effect for Mellis. That mistake by allowing Rollerson the inside into turn 2 is what's cost him.
Yep, bullied again. He is now running around with no trousers on, and Stefan Mellis has been bullied that many times during this race, unfortunately. Rollo's going to try and go at the inside of Clark. Oh, Clark gave him a mountain of room. Very, very lucky. And then, oh, Stefan, what have you gone and done in the hairpin? Buson's coming in behind him. Oh,
yeah, he's unaware.
I think he was already losing that on the way in. I can't really say that's all Mike Buson, and I'm the first one to call Mike out if he has made a little bit of a boo-boo. But it did look like Stefan Mellis was already sliding on the way in there. Bramer is here now. He's running at the moment alongside Mike Buson. The leaders are still kicking off. Maxwell's just got up to Bird, and Bird is managing to hold the gap. Bramer's going to sweep around the outside. Clark's going to try and take it 3 wide. Oh, Paul.
That's clumsy. Yeah, it was really clumsy from Paul Clark, I'm afraid. He stuck his nose up the inside, and I don't think it was quite a car's length alongside to get the move completed. We're going to take a look back. Yeah, that was not his corner at all. So that's Paul Clark, I'm afraid, has to take the blame for that on David Rollerson. And Mike Buson spun as well.
Yeah, Roller's gone round again. Mellis is going to come back through and say, thank you very much for these positions. I'm loving this. Clark's made another boo-boo, unfortunately. And in his car, his car's looking very, very broke indeed. Not a good return to SR8s to Paul Clark this evening. Over the curve he goes and round. I think that nose is teetering on the edge of falling off. So unfortunately for him, that's kind of killed that battle all together now. There's gaps all the way through. The only gap is from Bramer to LeMay. Bird and Maxwell are running side by side. McHutchinson's in there as well, going into the hairpin. They're going too wide. Maxwell's going to hold the line. McHutchinson's going to get the run out the outside line, and he manages to take that position. Jamie Bird still manages to hold on here, Tom, but he's under a heap of pressure.
Yeah, but Hutchinson being allowed through by Maxwell, and Maxwell's going to have to do what he tried to do in race one, except get the move completed on John Hutchinson, because if he doesn't do it, I'd imagine Hutchinson will get through on Bird sooner rather than later.
I don't know. Normally, I agree. I'd normally sit there and agree and say, yeah, you would be right. But if Bird puts up a fight here and he's got that capability in him, he has got 9 minutes to defend it, mind you, and he's going to show what he's going to give him here, because he is forcing him to go around the outside. He's now going to squeeze him. Oh, John misses him. John gets a poor run. Maxwell's going to run the side alongside him now. And this has got to be Luke Maxwell's run. Bird, if I was Bird, I'd swap the other side. I'd give that job to Luke Maxwell.
Well, we'll wait and see, because you don't want to give the that could be what he's thinking. But through turn one they go, and Matt Hutchinson holds off Maxwell for the time being. And in the midst of that, Vieira's got in front of Harmon into fourth place.
Yeah, I don't know if that wasn't... I feel that should have been Maxwell's corner. I think the Luke has been very, very cautious here this evening. I think he needs to go and really attack John, because I can guarantee that Lucas Vieira is not going to sit back and give him the same amount of respect that he's given John at the moment.
Well, we'll wait and see. We're looking at Bird, Hutchinson, Maxwell, Vieira and Harmon. All nose to tail separated by less than 1.5 seconds. It's nail biting stuff. This is what we were after in race two. There goes Hutchinson on the inside of Bird, and it's a successful overtake for the Scotsman.
Yeah, Bird's going to have the inside coming back. No, don't forget, this isn't done. Through 200R they go, and Bird's going to make the use of that line. He got the better line out. Maxwell's also going to try and go around the outside of Spoon over John McHutchison. Paul Clark's in pit lane, and McHutchison does hold the position. Vieira's going to take that inside line over Luke. Luke needs the draft from John as much as he possibly can here, because Vieira's going to be running him side by side down the back stretch. Vieira now tucks in right behind him. Is he going to come out again at him before they get into Casio? Bird manages to hold on. Bird's got to go defensive. He has to go defensive. Don't give John that. Oh, come on, Luke. Come on. He's got to get... I don't know if Luke's being way too cautious.
Well, we'll wait and see. They're going down the pit straight again. How does Bird play this one as they come down? You can just see Harmon trying to get back through on Vieira, but to no avail. And you can see Maxwell giving the inside to Vieira, and he's lost third position.
Yeah, not good. Not good from Luke. Maybe he feels like he's just not quite on the pace. He's sitting in that top four. Now lost that position. He is up 5. Vieira's up 11. McHutchison up 8. And now Lucas is going to go and climb all over John McHutchison all day. Lucas is not going to give him any time at all. The man... Oh, Bird's made a mistake.
Yeah, he made a mistake through Dunlop, and that's cost him dear.
Oh, Jamie. Can't do that with that group of drivers around you.
No.
Cannot do that at all. Jamie Bird is now going to be settled into the back end of the pack. He's gone from 1st to 5th. It's going to be a Vieira, McHutchison, Maxwell, Harmon battle. If Bird can hang on, great. Bramer's slowly closing into the back end of LeMay. Top 5 reverse for race number 3. So Jamie Bird will be on pole for race number 3, and these guys will all swap positions. But John McHutchison, Lucas Vieira isn't going to be as nice as he is.
Well, Vieira's got a chance to win this now, because he's been brilliant in this second race, and this could surprise Matt Hutchinson because he won't have been able to have seen Vieira's pace in the first race because Vieira crashed out. But now we are beginning to really see the true pace of what Vieira's got in his back pocket. He's got 3 more laps to do, so there is enough time for Vieira to do this.
Yep. And I reckon he's going to be climbing all over the back of John McHutchison constantly. You can see McHutchison defending as if his life literally relied on it. Vieira trying to take him round at turn 1, nothing doing. Maxwell and Harmon have got to get, basically, somehow, they've got to climb onto the back of these two and put them under pressure. Maxwell's got to be more tonight, because at the moment he's more a little bit of a pussycat than he is a growling Rottweiler. So I'd like to see Luke be a little bit more growly, a bit more gruff in his driving than he has shown at this moment in time. I'm hoping that towards the end of this race and in race 3, we might see the Luke Maxwell that we know and love from old.
Yeah, Vieira all over the back of Hutchinson. It's almost like the two magnets sticking to each other, although Vieira didn't get the best of exits out of Degner 2, and Hutchinson is able to just breathe a little bit for now, although does Vieira still have something left in him in the closing stages. Maxwell in 3rd place ahead of Harmon and Bird. He'll be ruining that mistake, and now he's just got to hope that something occurs in these remaining laps involving the leaders.
Yep, he's got to try and sit in there and hope and see what happens with Lucas Vieira. There's going to be... Oh, John! Oh, he's Bird! Oh, no!
That is very unlike John Hutchinson there, being pushed into a mistake. Very well done to Vieira for distracting him, but that is a really costly... He lost it on the curb. He lost it on the curb and couldn't slow down, and he hit Harmon and Bird.
Oh, John McHutchison driving with no nose is down in 6th. Ewan Bramer's in front. Paul LeMay's there. Now we've got Harmon, Maxwell, Vieira. This is the front 3 battle. Maxwell all the way to the right-hand side. I don't know if he's struggling with damage at all, whether or not there was any contact with John McHutchison that's caused that. But he has allowed just Eric Harmon to go through without any dramas at all. So it looks like it's all been spun on his head. McHutchison's got Paul Clark for company. I think Clark is a back marker, mind you, so I don't expect Clark to really make this move unless he really does feel that John's really slowing him up. Then I expect Paul to go through, and John himself might make this a little bit easier, as we can see the Scotsman's feet working the pedals through that SR8. Big drama on the last couple of laps of race number 2.
Yeah, Vieira is about to complete a back-of-the-grid drive to victory. What a race it's been from Lucas Vieira, and well-deserved, it has to be said. Eric Harmon's just hanging in there despite the contact he had with Matt Hutchinson, so hold off Maxwell for the time being. Paul LeMay, can he hold off Evan Bremer, who has quietly recovered after running wide at the start? Looking good for 5th position, but it's 4th that he's after now.
Yeah, Lucas Vieira is there, Eric Harmon, Luke Maxwell. This is the 1, 2, 3. There's going to be one, should get one more lap in. Here we'll have an 11-lap race. It'll be a little bit longer, probably 12 laps. 13 maybe for race number 3, the final race, top 5 reverse. Lucas Vieira out in front. Some may say lucky, Tom. I just say right place, right time.
Yeah, well, Vieira has been able to just hang in there and just give Hutchinson more of a race of it, and you can see Harmon in the red and black livery machine just ahead of the white and black livery car of Luke Maxwell. Does Maxwell decide to get into the draft and send it into turn number 1? He should be able to, but Harmon is going to have the benefit of the draft from Vieira ahead.
Luke's got to be big and brave. He's got to be big and brave, and if he isn't big and brave, then he's going to be sat in there. He'll be sat in behind Eric Harmon and not making a blind bit of motion. Ewan Bramer and Paul LeMay side by side going through turn 1. Bramer's on the inside, LeMay's on the outside. They're going to run the S's side by side. They do get it done. LeMay still managing to hold on. They swapped 3, 4, 5, 6 times in the process, getting it to where they are now. But LeMay's come through, managed to hold on to that one, and staying in currently in 4th. Bramer is in pole for race number 2, race number 3, mind you. Maxwell now over the back of Eric Harmon. Final lap of the race here, and only half a lap remaining, Tom.
Yeah, half a lap remaining. Does Maxwell send it into the hairpin? He thought about it because he took a wider line than what Harmon did. Harmon getting a little bit out of shape. That might give Maxwell an advantage on the exit all the way to Spoon. The Casio Triangle is probably where he's going to need to send it, because that's the only chance he's got left.
Yep. Absolutely, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. He's got to come out of Spoon, literally wrapped up right up the rear end of Harmon. Lucas Vieira is going to take that victory in race number 2. And he's done it, well, by keeping it on the racetrack, really. What is Maxwell going to do with Harmon? Is he going to put him under pressure again? Are we going to see the grrr from Luke? Or are we going to see the meow? And unfortunately, it looks like we're not quite going to see the growl from Luke Maxwell this evening. But Lucas Vieira is going to come through, take that victory in race number 2. Weaves across the line. Be careful, dear sir. I was going to say, the line is cut to the end. Eric Harmon and Luke Maxwell. LeMay and Bramer. Looks like Bramer's just gone through towards the end. We'll have a look back at that final manoeuvre there. Jamie Bird and Menno de Graaf. Well, Jamie Bird is in there. He is literally in behind him, Tom.
Yeah, so can he try and get 10th position away from Menno de Graaf? It's been a low-key race for de Graaf in this one. Bird is behind him, and I don't think Bird is going to get back through. So de Graaf should hold on. Hutchinson, despite the damage, has crossed over the line in 6th position.
Yep. And Menno does manage to hold on from Mr. Bird. Clark comes over the line, and it is just the lonely Irishman of Paul Crabb. I want to have a look at the E1 Bramer. Paul LeMay pass on to the final lap. Bramer's got the outside of Casio. LeMay's got the inside. It looks like Bramer's got the more comfortable run, and he did do, and through he goes over Paul LeMay. So great move from E1 Bramer there, Tom, on the final part.
It was a super job from Evan Bremer to come back through into the 4th place with a very clean overtake as Paul Crabb gets over the line in 13th position. So, race 2 classification. Where does that lead things into race 3?
Right, here are the results. Lucas Vieira is your winner. Eric Harmon in 2nd and Luke Maxwell in 3rd. E1 Bramer in 4th, Paul LeMay in 5th, pole position for race number 3. Then John McCutcheon in 6th, despite his dramas. Stefan Mellis got bullied out a couple of times and has come back and battled his way through 7th. That's due to some incidents in behind that. Mike Buson in 8th, Graham Matthews 9th, then Menno de Graaf, Jamie Bird, Paul Clark, Paul Crabb, and David Rolliston in behind that. So we're going into the 5 minutes of warm-up before we get race number 3 underway. Bit messy, yeah, but, you know, that's racing for you. And these guys aren't generally, but it gets like that. They've all had it at some point. Leah, and you know that. You know that's part of racing in the SR8s and the SR10s.
Couldn't agree more. And the drivers know how to race these machines anyway, because didn't you say that 1 or 2 of them have raced in either an SR8 or an SR10 in real life?
I think McCutcheon has taken a spin in one. I don't know which one it was, whether or not that was actually an SR3 on that one. I probably would have guessed that Paul Clark's been round in an SR. It was some form of radical. I'm not quite sure if Eric Harmon is the other one that's also been around. So, yeah, a couple of drivers, I think, have probably taken spins in the cars that they drive here today.
Fair dues. And this is a warm-up session. Some of them are going out there just to get a lap or so in there, just to prepare for the race. It's only a 5-minute warm-up, just so that you know. And we'll have the 14 drivers on the grid for the last race of the evening. So it's definitely been a different race in the second one compared to the first, and that's probably contributed by the fact that we had a reverse grid. But what is race 3 going to deliver, James? Is it going to be a mixture of the two, or is it going to be like one or the other?
I'm hoping we get a mixture of the two. I'd like to see Luke come out for race number 3 and just take the bull by the horns. That's what I would like to see. I'd like to see Luke come out take the bull by the horns and go for it. You know what I mean? And that would be great. But I don't really know what Luke is tonight and which one we have and whether or not which one's showing up as well. Maybe he's just struggling. Paul Clark and me are the ones who own them. And there you go. Yeah, I knew Paul had one, but I'm sure John's driven one and Eric Harmon. Something's telling me about Eric Harmon. I can't remember why. There was a story in behind that, I think. Unless I'm completely going off my rocker. But then, Leah, I've probably slept quite a lot since then. I've had Christmas and a break and, you know, lots going on. So, you know, don't quote me on that one. I could be completely and utterly wrong. So there we go. Yeah, I'd like to see a bit of both, Tom, I think. A bit aggression, more overtakes, maybe a little bit less carnage.
Yeah, well, hopefully not too many crashes, as we want to see more battling and less collisions. Looking at the calendar as well, we've got the Dakota Endurance event next week, followed by the alternative configuration of Zolder, its Zandvoort, Watkins Glen, Interlagos, and the Le Mans 2 Endurance configuration to wrap up the season. Very nice circuits that the Red Hill SR8 Championship is going to.
Yes. We've got, as I say, Kota, Zolder, Zandvoort, Watkins Glen, Interlagos, and Le Mans Endurance. So that should be very, very interesting indeed to sit back and watch. Not sure on Kota. I've got to be honest. It's never been my favourite circuit. So we'll see how Kota plays out in these cars. Coming in to the last few seconds of warm-up. More aggression. Yeah, I don't see more aggression, but not stupid aggression. I think there's that fine balance, Leah, between aggression and just, hey-ho, Silver, I'm coming through, and hope that a gap's made. I don't want to see that, to be blatantly honest. I don't think that's controlled aggression, Tom.
Well, it's more like intelligent aggression. I think that's probably what Leo is referring to. But, you know, we've seen drivers like Lucas Vieira push John Hutchinson into a mistake in that second race. That's probably the kind of aggression that she's referring to.
Maybe. Let's have a look at the grid for race number 2 when it swaps over. There we go. And let's see how this top 5 reverse panned out here. Ready for the final race of the evening. Paul LeMay will be on pole position. Ewan Bramer in second. Luke Maxwell third. Eric Harmon fourth. Lucas Vieira down in fifth. John McHutchison manages to hold on to sixth just. Stephen Mellis, Mike Bousson, Graham Matthews and Menno de Graaf 8th, 9th and 10th. Jamie Bird and Paul Clark in 11th and 12th. Then Paul Crabb and David Rolliston at the back end of the field. So we're going to wait and see how this one pans out. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. And you just never can quite tell what's going to happen. McHutchison in the middle. Not sure if Rollo's going to make it on or if we're going to have a 13 car field. It doesn't look like he's going to make it through. So, ladies and gentlemen, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Race number 3 is green, green, green. Paul LeMay got it off the line. There you go, Luke. That's the Maxwell we saw. He got it off the line. Absolutely flew out in front. Luke Maxwell takes the whole shot there and job done for him. Paul LeMay under pressure from Bramer in the mix. There's side by side again. Lucas Vieira in there in 4th place. Harmon down place in 5th at the moment. But that was the Luke Maxwell we wanted there, Tom. He got the job done and got out in front off the line.
Yeah, finally we've seen the Luke Maxwell that we've been after all night. Even Bremer through on Paul LeMay into 2nd position. No drastic moves yet from Vieira, Harmon or McHutchison as the race continues to settle down in this 25-minute race. This is the main race, as some may call it, because that's the most points which are given out. There's a car off that looks like Paul Crabb has gone for a spin.
Poor old Paul, I swear he's done more laps in warm-up than he has done in the race. He goes round again there. He will rejoin and keep going, but unfortunately for Paul Crabb, that has dropped it down the order. Maxwell got the run out in front, 7 tenths over Bramer. LeMay tucked in behind, Vieira in behind that. Then we've got Harmon, McHutchinson, Mellis under attack again. Poor old Stefan has seen gloves off this evening here, Tom. He just seems to be constantly under pressure whenever we see him.
Yeah. We're looking at Maxwell, who's already bridging out the gap to 6/10 on Bremer. LeMay still in the fight. Vieira, Harmon and Hudson just keeping it clean so far. They know they've got a longer race. We're probably looking at around about 14 lap events, so they've got a little bit more time to get overtakes done here and there. But you can just see at the front, Bremer just trying to put Maxwell under a little bit of pressure in this early stage and try to make sure that Maxwell doesn't shoot off into the distance too soon. Otherwise, it's going to be quite a lonely race, actually, for Maxwell, given that he's not had a lot go for him as much as he would like to.
That's the thing. He's had 2 podiums. He's had a second and a third, but I think each one has been a missed opportunity of him winning the race. You know, and this is the thing. As much as I love Luke, and you know, met him in real life, and he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. I just know that there's more in him. I know that there's more belly gruff. There's no more from him, and I'd like to have seen that in race 1 and 2. I reckon he could have been on for a good result, if not a clean sweep of them 2 races. But he just didn't, unfortunately. There was somebody off the side of the circuit. That was Lucas Vieira. Was off into the gravel, wasn't he? And he's now dropped behind Stefan Mellis there.
Well, he's made a mistake into Dunlop corner, which is not the first time we've seen someone make a mistake there. Who was it that made the mistake? It was Jamie Bird in the second race, wasn't it? He's done exactly the same things what Bird did, and that's lost him time.
Oh, Menno de Graaf has unfortunately crashed here. Lucas Vieira has come back onto the circuit. Not the greatest place. Oh, and then him and Bird have come together.
Yeah.
Oh, Bird then spins. And unfortunately for Jamie Bird and Menno de Graaf, that's probably caused from the fact that this man had come back onto the racetrack, Lucas Vieira, and kind of pinched everything up.
Yeah. Well, Vieira's kind of inflicted the mistake himself, and it's caused problems for others behind, but we'll leave that to the stewards to decide in case there is an inquiry. But we're looking at Maxwell and Bremer going through the last sequence of corners for the second time in this feature race. Maxwell doing a fine job to keep him back. Paul May is into the draft now of Bremer. He might be able to attack.
Yeah, Paul May there. Is he going to be looking at Iwan Bremer? Bremer doesn't give him the room. LeMay's trying to go at the inside. Bremer pulls it straight back onto the racing line. LeMay again just can't go through the left-hander, through the right-hander, up through the snake section. Then we've got this left. Then we've got the anti-bank curb coming in. That's the one that drops away the other opposite side of you. Now through Dunlop, that outside curb can play a problem. We've seen it twice. And there's a nasty bump on the end of that curb that bounces you off into the gravel, as you saw with Lucas Vieira. Coming into Degner 1, the right-hander, dab, point, shoot. Now you're going to be hard on the brakes, getting the gears down into Degner 2. And that run up into the hairpin. Great run from Paul LeMay. Can he capitalise it coming into the hairpin?
Can he send it into the hairpin? Is he feeling brave enough? Not quite so, but he's taking a wider line compared to Bremer. And they both seem to have as relatively good exits as each other. Hudson behind Harmon in the fight for 4th place. He's not quite coming through the field as quickly as we may have thought it was going to, but we know Hudson is a man who never rushes things.
No. And he knows he's got plenty of time in this one. We say plenty of time as in, you know, they've got plenty of time, but 25 minutes is quite a long time. 2 minute, you know, you're close to 2 minute lap times. You're only 6 seconds off. McHutchinson's not, he's got no reason to rush this. He'll make that move when he needs to make that move, and he'll start climbing forward. Probably when all 5 of these cars or 6 of these cars are bunched up together, and McHutchinson will then start picking them off one by one when he's close enough.
No, you can just see Bremer all over the back of Maxwell heading onto the pit straight, but he's not quite close enough to make any form of challenge. New fastest up of the race from Luke Maxwell. That was taken away by Eric Harmon on the same lap. Coming down the pit straight they come. And it seems to have settled down now. It's kind of like a repeat of what we saw in race 1.
Yeah. Yep, unfortunately. But I don't think this is going to be the end. I think this is kind of the beginning of a prize fight where they start feeling each other. They're picking up moments like McHutchison. If we jump to it with the sectors, you see, start bringing him in. He knows where he's going to be quicker for Eric Harmon. He would have been setting him up probably 2 laps ago. Again, Harmon slower in sector 2. McHutchinson again coming at him. He knows all of these positions. He knows all of this situation. And they would just be feeling right now what is going on with the people in front. Where am I quicker? Where can I make the move? The problem for McHutchinson is at the moment, Buson is trying a desperate effort to close up here and get onto the pack to make this a 6-car fight with Lucas Vieira to make it 7. And Maxwell there is in front, but Bremer doesn't look like he's aggressive to make it through.
Well, I don't know whether Bremer's almost been like what Maxwell's been all evening, just not really send it when the pack is bunching up. And like you say, Buson and Vieira closing on this lot, so it won't be too long, I don't think, before we see a move or 2 from them. Bird going through on DeGraaf for P12. He's coming back through the field a little bit more now. He's got Graham Matthews next up. But you can just see how close they are through 130R. You can see Paul LeMay on the inside of even Bremer for P2, but backs out of it in the last minute.
Yeah. Again, thinking, what's the situation, or how am I going to get through? Bremer got a little bit scared off him there and made that hesitant move, but you see the other 2 in the background. Bremer's now going to try and go around the outside of Maxwell into 1. Luke's got to send it in deep and hope it sticks. It does stick for Luke. Maxwell can't make it through. This is going to work in Mike Buson's favour. He is going to should start bringing it in. The gap down was below just a second briefly. This is Buson's opportunity, isn't it, to get involved in some great racing?
Well, he's hardly been towards the top end of the field all evening, is Buson. So if there was a time for him to recompense that, the time is now. And he's rapidly closing in on John Hudson behind, who is stuck behind Eric Harmon. So if I was Hudson, I wouldn't wait around for too much longer as they all made their way through Degner 2. And Maxwell doing fine so far, but is it going to remain that way?
I don't know. Can't really answer that question, to be blatantly honest with you, because with Buson closing in, Vieira's closing in, Mellis and Clark are getting close together. Then we've got Matthews, Bird and DeGraaf further back here. Bird closing in on Graham Matthews quicker than DeGraaf is closing in on him. So Jamie Bird should, bar the fact if he's got any damage on that car, should clear Graham Matthews down the back straight. In through Spoon he goes. And Bird now, can he make it through? And can he get this done? That's going to be the question for Jamie Bird through the back stretch, depending on his pace and on his speed here, I think, Tom, and whether or not he's able to clear Matthews.
Well, Paul Clark's gotten through on Stefan Mills for 8th place whilst we have been watching this battle, but is Jamie Bird going through on Graham Matthews? You can see Matthews leaving the outside open for Bird to go through, which will give Bird the inside line, and yeah, it's a conclusive battle there. Mellis has made a mistake though. He's had a spin at Casio Triangle.
Oh, and then he slammed the throttle to try and get the car back round, and unfortunately it's gone round again. Maxwell, Bremer, LeMay, Harmon, McHutchison, Buson now, and Vieira all getting involved in this. This is going to go to 2, 4, 6, 7 car fight, and if we have a 7 car fight, who's going to come out on top?
Well, we'll wait and see. Well, Vieira will probably feel he's probably not going to win the race because, well, he's got to get past 6 cars, and what are the chances of 6 cars tripping over each other? He just saw Paul LeMay get out of shape through Dunlop there and somehow was able to gather it up and, stay in touch with Bremer, but Bremer's also lost ground to Maxwell.
Yeah. And they're all in now, still all battling in. Vieira's now into the mix with Buson and McHutchinson. There is Buson onto the back of McHutchinson. Harmon LeMay got a little bit wrong around that outside line again. Manages to hold on, but he's now this corpse that's got to get back on to this pack, of course, here. Not the most easiest thing to be doing.
No, and LeMay's found himself bridging himself further away from Bremer. Maxwell's gap is 8/10 to Bremer, but don't be at all surprised to see the gap come back down again, because I don't think Maxwell will push as much as it has been over the course of the last lap or two. But you can just see this battle raging on more and more and more, corner by corner, lap by lap, and LeMay is having to do his utmost to keep Harmon, Hudson and Buson back.
Yeah, I don't know how I think Paul is under the cosh a little bit. He's got to try and get onto that. He's got to try and utilize Bramer. Unfortunately, the guys closing in behind him are coming at him quicker than what he's closing in on Ewan Bramer. Harmon's there, and he does manage to hold on again. Paul LeMay driving defensively, but also managing to hold on just about the back end of Ewan Bramer.
Yeah, it's a matter of time before he cracks under pressure, because I don't feel that Paul LeMay is going to be able to just basically keep the pressure, sort of stay within the pressure, if that makes sense, because he's done very well in this race so far, despite being on reverse grid pole. But the last thing I want is just, I don't like using the word, but bottling it is probably the best way to describe it, because this is his chance to really show that he can mix it in with the big guns.
Well, he's opened the gap up to Harmon by about 4/10, and he's pulled on to the back of Bramer, so he's managed to get some pace back in that car. These cars are all slowly all coming back together. Very follow my leader at the moment, I think, Tom. One of the things was what we were afraid of, this sort of liney draft train almost.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And Bremer, he's having to really push hard to close back in on Maxwell. The gap is 7 cents. Last time we were discussing about the gap, it was 8 cents. I think we've kind of lost the gaps at the moment for the time being. I think it's come back on a little bit now, but it seems like the timer has frozen on the graphics. So do bear us with us on that. It's refreshed now. It's 13 minutes in to this third race, which will still be a 14-lap event overall.
It's new.
Harmon's made a mistake, James, and Harmon and Vieira have gone round.
Oh, Vieira has, yep. Oh, John.
Yeah, that was clumsy.
And then
that was a little to him.
Oh, he didn't touch Vieira. He did not touch Vieira, I don't think. John's gone in and caused mass drama. No, it didn't look like there was any contact from Eric Harmon on Vieira. So Vieira there was just unlucky in the wrong place. Crab and Clark are battling it out and fighting here. So Paul Crabb and Paul Clark, this is down in 8th and 9th place. There's nothing wrong with my internet, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that timing software at this moment in time. Hopefully it will reset itself. We've got 10 minutes remaining. But that, I think John has let Harmon back through. Is he going to allow Lucas Vieira to come back through?
He shouldn't have to, James, because Vieira pretty much spun by himself. So if I was Matt Hudson, I would just leave that one alone and just get on with his race.
Yep, I would as well. But hey, that's just us. Raymond's here with LeMay, and he's doing a great job there. We're having slight little stutters here. Bear with me. It looks like Vieira has gone and had another moment in that machine. Oh no, this was the same one that we watched actually earlier on. I thought that was another one. It isn't. And he's managed to hold on. LeMay now in with Bramer, in with Maxwell.
Well, this is a chance for LeMay to close back in on Bremer, because there's that gap. Oh, and that's a mistake from Bremer. He lost it as he got the power down, and that was the invitation that LeMay would have been wishing for. And yeah, he's already about to lose it just as he got on the power on the exit, and that's cost Bremer time.
Yeah. Bramer's gone through, LeMay's gone through, Busson's gone through. Bramer's now down a little bit, bringing Harmon and McHutchinson back into it again. Clark and Crab still going full ding-dong further down. And at the moment, it's still Crab in behind Clark. So unfortunately for that, that's the situation further down. Men of the Graph is having a nice little fight with Mr. Graham Matthews. So great job from them guys, as Menno still battling out. Always somebody to have a race with here in this championship. But for Paul LeMay, got an opportunity to show that he can hang with Lucas Vieira. Is he going to be able to do it?
Well, he's got nothing to lose now, because he doesn't need to worry about cars behind him. He just wants to focus on Luke Maxwell and just make a game of it.
I just think it could be Maxwell's opportunity to finally take a win, right? But I would like to see, this is really hard for me, because I would like to see both of these drivers take a victory. Because both are friends and both I know, and I think, you know, it would be great to watch both of them over the line, come over the line together, nose to tail. That would be epic for me. For Ewan Bramer, however, he is going to make sure Buson knows his nose is tucked up right behind his tail. Like a couple of Jack Russells in the park at the moment here for Buson and Bramer. Bramer's going to try and go around the outside. He's going to have that run. He seems to be able to make that run work, which isn't what many people are able to do here this evening.
Well, he ran wide on the curb on the exit, and that compromised the exit speed they would have got, and it's given the draft not only to Buson but to Harman and possibly Hutchinson. You can see Buson right round the outside. Does he know Harman is there? He does. Luckily, they don't make contact there, and Bremer back into the podium places and nearly making contact with Buson again. They are keeping it tight, but they are leaving each other enough room and respect.
Yep. Bramer there, Buson now with Harman and McHutchinson in behind him. So a great job from Bramer. Bramer's wrapping up. He's got stunning runs out of Casio. He's making that line work that not many people have been able to, and he's done an absolute stellar job. But now he's just got to hold on. What about Buson? Is Buson going to drive as defensive as we know that Mike can to hold on to Eric Harman here?
Well, Hudson has not had a lot to do in this race. I mean, bearing in mind he was involved in that instant at the Casio Triangle chicane, and that cost him positions. He's still in 6th place, John, so he's not having the best time of it in race 3 compared to what we saw in race number 1. The gap between Maxwell and LeMay has come down again to half a second. LeMay quicker than Maxwell right now, but is he gaining enough time on him?
He's still got 7 minutes. So if he can pull out bit by bit here for Paul LeMay, I don't see any reason why he can't. He's been quicker than Maxwell over 7, lap 8 and lap 9. We'll keep an eye on this one. Is he going to be quicker again? He looks visually quicker. So for Paul LeMay, this could be a great opportunity. And Maxwell had a dab of the brakes in the middle of that Casio Triangle, where LeMay did not.
And this is Maxwell's chance to close down the points battle with John Hutchinson as well, given that Hutchinson's had another mare in this. Paul Crabb and Paul Clark swapping places. They're in their own ding-dong battle, as are Buson and Harman through turn number 1. It is Buson who's still ahead now. Is that a bat marker ahead of them, though? No, it's not. It's Bremer, sorry.
Yeah, Bremer's there as well. You've got Crabb, Clark and Bird. So these three are together. The only one driving around on his own is poor old Lucas Vieira. He has got 3.5 out in front, 7.5 behind. We've got Mano de Graaf has dropped Graham Matthews. That is due to the fact that Graham did this. Oh, he got all squarely, big lock up, taking the exit road at Casio. And Mano is going to go through. So unfortunately, Graham Matthews has lost there. I've got Stephen Mellis driving around on his jacks. Crabb has cleared Clark. Clark's now under pressure from Bird. And is Jamie Bird going to be able to clear Paul Clark here as probably is quite as easy as Crabb did?
Bird is all over the back now of Clark into the hairpin. He thought about sending it there. Does he get a stronger exit than Clark? Well, it looks like he has. He's into the draft as they approach Spoon. And is he going to send one here? And we've just seen a change for position. Buson ahead of Bremer for the time being, but for how long?
Watch Ewan Bramer, see if he can get on that outside line going into Casio. He will guarantee he's going to make this as hard as possible for Mike. Mike's got to have the Steelies on this one. They're side by side. They're getting a little bit argy. Bramer's going to throw it in deep. Buson can't make the line work that Bramer can. And now Harman tries to come back in front of John McHutchison, does manage to get through and hold on to that position. So a great run from these guys, still fighting out. Ewan Bramer big on the defense, swerving one side, swerving the other, coming down into one. Buson's got no answer at the moment. I don't think there's anything there that Buson's going to be able to do apart from just keep doing what he's doing.
Well, this is a nice four-car battle, and the battle for the lead is even closer now between Maxwell and LeMay. It was less than 2 tenths just before they got through the first corner of this lap. And now Maxwell, he's got a fighting chance to keep hold of his race win in the very important one of that.
Yeah. LeMay's closed into Maxwell. Both of these men are looking for their first wins this evening. LeMay's looking for his first podium. Can he get it here as well? Great racing. You know you're missing it, Leo. You know you're missing it, really. Don't tell me otherwise. Oh,
that's Bremer. Surely he had a nudge. Surely he had a nudge on the way in.
It looked like it was more of a push to pass there. Oh, I don't know. I need to go back just a little bit more. Can I get back just... Oh, no, that's too far. Blimey, I'm going to have to sit here and watch it for a lap there. Nope. I don't think I'm quite... Oh, that looked close. If there was contact from Mike, it would have been very minimal. But I think it might have been enough. LeMay now on the back end of Maxwell. Is this Maxwell just about to lose the lead? And is LeMay going to go on and take it from here? He's going to have 2 more laps here, Tom.
Yeah, well, Harman's made a mistake, James. He's lost positions left, right, and centre. He's made a horrible mistake into 130R, and he's fallen down the order big time, unfortunately, down to P7. But this is the battle we are still focusing on the penultimate lap of this race. LeMay going to the outside. It looks like he's about to do it through turn 2. Is he going to have the high ground on Luke Maxwell? Does he get on the curb and have the inside for the S's? It looks like he's done it, has Paul LeMay, and he's gone through.
He has made it through. Great move from Paul LeMay. I was expecting more. I thought there might have been more from Mr. Maxwell there. More of a defense. Round 1. Oh, he hit the curb.
Yeah.
He's hit the curb, and unfortunately, that was the end of Eric Harman. Crashed, jumped back. Well, he's now jumped back to the pits. Well, that could explain why he's jumped back to the pits, because there was just literally nothing left of Eric Harman there. But Paul LeMay, Luke Maxwell, still trying to get through on the hairpin. I said, you know you are missing this great racing, Leah Anderson, as well. But LeMay still under pressure. Oh, what do you reckon, Tom? Is he going to be able to hold on?
Oh, it's touch and go. Maxwell made it too easy, I thought, for him. I'm surprised he didn't make it more robust than it was. And this is kind of giving me shades of Leah Anderson's performance at Monza last season in this particular championship. And that's how brilliant the racing was, and I think we're going to see more of it here.
Yeah. Maxwell is going to try and get through 130R. Now into Casio. LeMay's going to go on the defense. It's going to be 1 more lap. Big puff of smoke from everybody. Shreds of everything all over the track. Debris.
This has got to be a strong exit. This has got to be the best exit that Luke Maxwell has had all evening.
Yeah, LeMay jinks to the left. He jinks to the right. He's going to close him down. You see the final lap. Barney barely waving the flag out. Vieira fastest lap of the race. Maxwell trying that outside line. No success there. LeMay going to hang on again for this final lap. It's going to be touch and go here.
Well, we won't see him. He's got the hairpin and also the Casio triangle to get a move done. But Luke Maxwell has not been able to defend well enough against Paul LeMay, who's been sensational in this third race. Lucas Vieira posting a new fast lap of the race on the back of John Hutchison. I feel he has run out of time to make any form of challenge. Mike Bousson doing well to keep hold of third place. He should be able to retain that now, but this is the battle that we're going to be focused on for the rest of the race.
Yeah, LeMay is down about 3 tenths coming into the hairpin. Bousson is in behind with Bramer, with McHutchinson, and Vieira's just caught onto the back. Crab and Bird are also having a nice little tidy battle. We'll keep an eye on the lap time for the front end. Oh, it's coming down into Spoon. Final run now. Is it going to be LeMay? Is it going to be Maxwell taking his first win of the evening? It would be his third podium regardless for Luke Maxwell. He's made a mistake coming out of Spoon. Surely this is Paul LeMay's race win. Surely he's just going to be able to get it and hold on to it here. Paul LeMay from Two Brothers Racing is going to wrap this one up. Coming into Casio Triangle, bar any major dramas. Onto the brakes he goes, through he goes. Oh no, he got that all a little bit wrong. He got that wrong. Maxwell's tucked in behind him. I don't think he's going to be able to get the run, but it is going to be a run down to the line. LeMay does manage to hold on from Luke Maxwell. What about Mike Buson? He managed to hold on. Bramer, McHutchison and Vieira over the line. Neck and neck, Crab and Bird. Paul Crabb manages to hold on from Jamie Bird. That's one of the things I think if I could change about racetracks, Tom, it would be the fact that the finishing line is nowhere near the start line.
Yeah, I would agree. It should be a little bit further down the straight.
It should be in the same place. Why can't they just use the same line? Why do we need a different line, Tom? Come on, you're involved in F1. Why do we need a different line?
It's to help with race restarts, just to prevent any race restart accidents like what we saw in Mugello a few years ago. Because the start-finish line was all the way down the pit straight. So the fact we have a timing line, which is the finish line, compared to a start line, is for the reasons of safety. So that's the way I look at it.
That's purely F1 safety, then they're rubbish. That's the way I look at it on that one. Right, let's bring you up the results of the feature. We'll give these guys a couple of minutes before we have a chat, but Paul LeMay did get the job done. Well done, Paul, from the Two Brothers Racing over Team Radlines, Luke Maxwell and Mike Buson. Ewan Bramer in 4th and John McHutchison in 5th. Lucas Vieira 6th. Then you got Paul Crabb, Jamie Bird and Paul Clark. They're 7th, 8th and 9th. Menno de Graaf, Graham Matthews, Stefan Mellis, Eric Harmon and David Rolliston. Really good racing from the top 4. Enjoyed that one. Yeah, it was good. I liked it as well. I liked it. But let's bring the man into the booth himself. We'll have a quick chat with Mr. Luke Maxwell and see how he thought his evening of racing went on. He's got 3 out of 3, 2 seconds and a third. Do we think Mr. Maxwell could have got the win? Well, let's have a chat with him.
Maybe. It was quite tough at the end there, to be honest with Paul. He made a good move around the outside, and then I thought, well, I'll follow him and try and make a move at the end, but I just made a mistake and lost a bit too much time and lost the toe, so I couldn't make a run up to the last chicane.
What about race 1 and 2?
Yeah, John had really good pace in race 1. I tried to stay with him, but just dropped off as the tyres went off a bit. So yeah, happy with P2 there. I think P3, I kind of let Eric go a bit. I felt like I owed him one, but then he was quicker than me in that race. So no, it was good. I think overall, second, third, second, that's good for the championship. So I'll take it. I got very good starts in all of the races, so managed to get off the line well tonight. Yeah,
you did. You flew off the line there as well. Do you think you were Luke Maxwell that we've come to love, that Luke Maxwell this evening?
Yeah, I think. Well, it's tough. Yeah, I think.
You kind of see where I'm going here, Luke.
I can. Yeah. Maybe I'm driving more for championships than race wins. Although I think John's championship to lose, isn't it? Really, but I know it's early days, but he's doing well so far. So if he makes a few mistakes, then I'll be up there. So yeah, I think. I'm really enjoying the racing though. It's cracking race with these guys in this car. Everyone's so close, and I've just managed to avoid the mistakes really tonight, I think, and avoid the wrecks, and that's served me well overall. So I think got to look at it as a result for the event tonight, and it's a pretty good one. So yeah, I'm happy.
Good. Well, that's all that matters, Luke. I'm glad you're happy. We're off to Circuit of the Americas next week. How do you feel about COTA?
Well, I've driven it in this car before. I think I've done it in the SR10. Done it in a P Cup, but yeah, I don't think I've done it in this car. So I reckon it could be fun, to be honest. I mean, there's lots of very wide circuit, and overtaking opportunities. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think it'll take a bit of practice, though. I think we'll all have to put a few hours in to hone in on that circuit, to be honest.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you on that one, mate. But thanks so much for joining us. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
I'll give a shout out, Paul LeMay. Yeah, good job there, mate.
Yeah, awesome job from Paul. All right, man. Take care, Luke. I'm going to look forward
Cheers.
to see you on Thursday.
Yeah, see you then.
Take care, man.
Bye.
Right, let's have a chat with a man from Somerset down here with me. He finally got a podium in race number 3. Let's have a quick chat with him. All right, me little sparrow. How are you?
All right, you old cocker. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad, not too bad.
Go on then, tell us your evening.
Well, I came home, I got ready for the gym, went out, done that, come back, had dinner, got on here late, had a small bit of practice, got up in everybody else's drama as ever. What was it? Race 1 Vieira, I think was it. At a moment, I had nowhere to go, slammed into him. And then on my recovery, I may or may not have been hit, but the car was not in a great shape anyway. And then it spun me off. I don't know that you've seen that, but there was some contact with 3 or 4 cars going past me. I don't know what happened. I hadn't looked yet. Race 2, Dave put me in the grass. Bless him, which then meant, again, every man and his dog went past me.
Yeah.
Then there was some incident on the last corner. Had to avoid it. Spun myself around the wrong way, so it took me half a year to turn the car around. But yeah, race 3 finally was a little bit more, but still, of other people's dramas meant I fell off the pack early, so it took a while to get back on it. And yeah, but I can't say I am happy enough with a podium in the 3rd race, if not anything else.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. You were kind of a magnet. I don't know what went on tonight, Mike. You just kind of seemed to be magnetized towards everybody else's car, which was unfortunate for you, of course. But
I attract the special people, I think it is.
Well, maybe. That might be the case, Mike. I don't know. That could quite easily be the case.
The men are attracted to me. They can't help themselves. They just want to get close to me. Too close, one would say.
Yes, one would say they get a little bit too huggy with you.
A little.
You know.
I like a rub, but that's a bit extreme. Some of that.
Oh dear, Mike. Listen, we got a Kota next week, mate. How'd you think?
Ooh. Can't really be sure. Kota. I don't know if I've really ever raced it.
I think you've been there in the SR10 once.
Probably missed it. Didn't pay for it or something.
I know, but you got to buy it.
I may put some practice in.
Well, Luke said the people are going to need at least a couple of hours.
I could do you probably 20 minutes at best, but I'll give it a go.
All right, mate. You go and give it a go and have a good go in the process.
I'll give it a go. It's a big track.
Anyway, you want to shout out. If not, I think I allow the driver's line, Mike. If you really need it, let me know. I'll put it on for you.
That'd be lovely. I don't know. I haven't kept up with local topics really. What's going on down in Wincanton or Castle Carey where you're down? Is anything exciting to shout out, mate?
No, not really. To be blatantly honest, I think there was a drama involving dust caps off cars. That was about as probably as exciting as it got down here, mate, to be honest.
Some local sheep jumped the fence or something like that, you know?
Maybe scrapped off the Velcro wellies from the farmer. I don't really know.
Whoa. We won't have that sort of talk, thank you very much.
Oh, please, give over. You've just given me worse in the interview. Mike Buson, as you're not going to shout anyone out, I'm going to let you go.
All right, Merry Easter. Speak to you next week.
See you later, mate. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. I swear I could talk to Mike Buson all day. It's awful when we get together here as well. But I'll tell you what, one man that is a pleasure to speaking to this evening, your race 3 winner, Mr. Paul LeMay, got the podium, got the win, all in one race. Paul, welcome in.
Oh yeah, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right, bud. I'm doing very well. I've just watched 3 great races, mate. I've watched you and Luke have a nice little ding-dong. You come through finally and got a victory.
Yeah. Race 1 and 2 was, I felt a bit. I was over driving, making loads of mistakes, really having problems with the braking. And then I changed the braking, the brake balance for race 3, and I was a lot more happy. Push. But yeah, first 2 races were just a nightmare for me. Didn't enjoy them at all.
No, but you clearly made a change. And what was it?
Yeah, I was probably overdriving the first two races, and I just sort of tried to calm it down for race 3. And I think making the brake bias change just helped the car turn a bit better. I was just having terrible trouble on the brakes and getting the car to turn. So yeah, in the end, it worked out okay, and it was a good battle with Luke.
Yeah, it definitely was, mate. It definitely was indeed, and you've come through taking the victory. Listen, Luke seems to think he's going to practice a couple of hours. Mike's just told me he's probably going to practice for no more than about 20 minutes, which is no surprise. Kota next week, Paul. What are you going to give the track?
Yeah, I mean, I love Kota. I think it's a really good track. I should be practicing a lot. I didn't get an awful lot of practice in last week because I was in France. But yeah, so I'll really work at it for Kota and see how we go.
How was your holiday, mate? Was it nice?
Yeah, it's very nice, mate. Yeah, some winter sunshine in the south of France.
Oh, lucky you on that
And it
one.
was lovely.
I bet it was, Paul. Next time I'll stow away in your suitcase, sir. There we go. Anyone you want to shout out, buddy, before we let you go?
Luke for making that a really fair race, a good fight. Yeah.
Awesome job. Well, Paul, thanks so much for joining me there, mate. I look forward to seeing you Thursday.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, definitely.
All right, man. Have a good one, chap.
All right.
I'll catch up with you then.
Cheers then, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There you go. That was Luke Maxwell, Paul LeMay, and ever the special character that is Mike Bousson on that one. Tom, 3 happy gentlemen. Luke, yeah, happy with podium. Seems to be going more for the championship than for wins. And it has been proven that you don't necessarily need to win a championship.
No, we've seen it transpire a lot when someone picks up a win and then falters in the next race and vice versa. Whereas Luke Maxwell's mindset has clearly been just get podiums out of it and do the better job than what your championship rival is doing. I think tonight it's safe to say that John, despite that win in the first race, had quite somewhat of a mare in the other two, and Maxwell was able to take advantage of that. So the gap is down in the championship clearly.
There it is. The scores will go on after this one when I sit down and grab a drink, and then I will put them in. Thank you so much to everybody who has come along. Just don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the bells. That would be amazing. Join us next week as we head to Kota. Now, if you're a bit of a night out, like I clearly am, come and join us, myself and Mr. Alex Goldschmidt, for the Autobahn Season 14. They're back up and running. It's at Road 8 from Road America. Come and join us for that one. Then we go on to Thursday for 150 Motorsports. It's back from Brian Touch with the Radical Race Series on the Snetterton 300 circuit. So lots more action coming up on the JPB YouTube channel. As always, guys, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.